Have you ever noticed that the more desperately you try to hold on to someone, the more distant they seem to become? Have you ever stayed awake at night replaying conversations in your mind, wondering why your messages remain unanswered, why your kindness goes unnoticed, or why the people you love seem to value you less the more you give? Most people believe that love is about proving yourself, that respect is earned by sacrificing your own happiness, and that if you care enough, eventually someone will recognize your worth. But life repeatedly teaches a painful lesson. Chasing rarely creates connection. More often, it creates distance. The harder you chase, the more exhausted you become, until one day you no longer recognize the person staring back at you in the mirror. Somewhere along the journey of trying to be enough for everyone else, you stop being enough for yourself. This is where the philosophy of detachment begins. Not with giving up on people, not with becoming cold or emotionless, but with discovering a deeper truth. Your peace should never depend on another person's approval. Detachment is not the absence of love. It is the absence of fear. It is the quiet confidence that says, I can love you deeply without losing myself. Imagine holding a handful of sand. If you grip it tightly, the grains slip through your fingers. If you relax your hand, the sand remains. Relationships often work the same way. Control pushes people away, while freedom allows genuine connection to grow. The greatest irony is that many people spend years searching for happiness in the reactions of others. They wait for a message, a compliment, an apology, or a sign that they matter. Yet every moment spent waiting quietly gives away a piece of their emotional freedom. The moment your happiness depends entirely on someone else's behavior. You have handed them the keys to your inner world. That is not love, it is emotional dependence. Healthy relationships are built on choice, not necessity. They flourish when two complete people walk beside each other, not when one person spends every day trying to convince the other to stay. This realization can feel uncomfortable because society teaches us to chase achievements, chase attention, chase relationships, and chase validation. From childhood, many people learn that approval equals safety. They perform well in school to gain praise, seek popularity to feel accepted, and later pursue relationships hoping someone else will finally complete the emptiness they have carried for years. Yet no amount of external approval can permanently fill an internal void. That void disappears only when you stop asking the world to confirm your value and begin recognizing it yourself. Think about the people you admire most. They are rarely the ones begging for attention. They don't constantly explain their worth. They don't force friendships or demand admiration. Their quiet confidence draws others naturally because confidence is attractive, while desperation often creates resistance. This doesn't mean confident people never feel lonely or insecure. It means they refuse to let those emotions control their decisions. They understand that rejection is information, not a definition of their value. Imagine standing before two doors. One door leads to a life spent constantly seeking approval. Behind it lies anxiety, overthinking, and endless emotional exhaustion. The other door leads to self-respect, emotional independence, and peace. The surprising part is that both doors exist within the same person. The difference lies in one decision, whether you continue chasing or choose to let go. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop forcing. It means you stop believing that your worth rises or falls according to another person's opinion. Some people will misunderstand you, some will leave, and some relationships will naturally come to an end. None of those events erase your dignity. Every ending creates space for something more aligned with who you are becoming. One of the greatest misconceptions about detachment is that it makes people distant or uncaring. The opposite is often true. When you are no longer consumed by fear of abandonment, you become capable of loving more honestly. You stop manipulating, testing, or controlling others. You simply appreciate their presence while accepting that every human being has the freedom to choose their own path. That freedom applies to you as well. The strongest people are not those who never experience heartbreak. They are those who refuse to let heartbreak become their identity. Every disappointment becomes a teacher rather than a prison. Every rejection becomes an invitation to grow rather than a reason to shrink. Instead of asking, why wasn't I enough? They begin asking, what is this experience teaching me about myself? That single shift changes everything because your attention moves from chasing another person to understanding your own mind. And that is where real transformation begins. And this is the moment where everything begins to change. Because once you understand that your peace is your greatest possession, you stop negotiating it for temporary attention. You begin to realize that people who truly value you never require you to abandon yourself to earn their affection. They may disagree with you, they may have different dreams, and they may even choose a different path. But genuine respect never asks you to sacrifice your dignity. The greatest transformation happens quietly. It is not announced to the world. It begins the day you stop checking your phone every few minutes, hoping for one message to determine your mood. It begins the day you stop explaining your worth to people who have already decided not to see it. It begins when silence no longer frightens you because you have discovered that silence is not emptiness. It is the place where you finally hear your own voice. Many people spend years believing that someone else will complete them, but no human being can permanently carry the weight of another person's happiness. Healthy relationships are built between two whole individuals, not between two people trying to repair each other's emptiness. When you become emotionally independent, you do not love less. You love more honestly. You stop loving out of fear and begin loving out of freedom. Freedom says, I appreciate your presence, but I do not depend on it for my identity. That is a completely different kind of love. It is calmer, deeper, and more enduring because it is not built on possession. Think of a tree standing alone in a storm. It does not beg the wind to become gentle. It strengthens its roots. Life works the same way. You cannot control who stays, who leaves, who misunderstands you, or who forgets your kindness. The only thing completely within your control is the person you become through those experiences. Every disappointment is either a chain that keeps you trapped in resentment or a tool that helps you build resilience. The choice belongs to you. Some people will never apologize. Some will never recognize the pain they cause. Waiting for their apology is like waiting for winter to become summer because you wish it would. Healing begins when you stop asking life to rewrite the past and instead decide to write a different future. Forgiveness does not always mean reconciliation. Sometimes forgiveness simply means refusing to allow yesterday's pain to steal today's peace. The strongest person in the room is often the one who no longer feels the need to prove anything. They do not compete for attention because they understand that attention fades while character remains. They do not chase admiration because they know respect cannot be forced. They simply continue becoming the best version of themselves, trusting that the right people will recognize their value while the wrong people will naturally drift away. This is the hidden power of detachment. It filters your life without bitterness. It creates space for healthier friendships, stronger relationships, and a deeper connection with yourself. Imagine looking back 5 years from now. Will you remember the message that never came? Or will you remember the person you became because you finally stopped waiting? Your future is not built by the people who left you. It is built by the lessons they unknowingly gave you. Every ending carries the seed of a new beginning, but only if you are willing to let go of what no longer serves your growth. The law of detachment is not a magical formula that guarantees people will return. Sometimes they will, sometimes they will not. That is not the point. The real miracle is that you no longer need them to return in order to feel complete. You discover that your happiness was never hidden inside another person's choices. It was hidden beneath your own fears. Once those fears begin to dissolve, life becomes lighter. You laugh more easily. You sleep more peacefully. You stop carrying imaginary conversations in your mind. You stop rehearsing explanations for people who never intended to understand you. You stop shrinking yourself just to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. Instead, you grow into someone who values authenticity over approval, peace over chaos, and purpose over temporary pleasure. This journey is not about becoming emotionally cold. It is about becoming emotionally free. Freedom is the ability to love without clinging, to give without expecting, to walk away without hatred, and to begin again without fear. Every sunrise reminds us that darkness is temporary. Every season reminds us that change is natural. Every heartbeat reminds us that life keeps moving, whether we resist it or embrace it. So choose to move with it. Stop chasing people who repeatedly show you they do not wish to be caught. Stop sacrificing your self-respect for acceptance that was never genuine. Stop measuring your worth by someone else's attention. The person you have been searching for in everyone else has been waiting inside you all along. The moment you understand this, your life changes forever. You no longer ask, why did they leave? Instead, you ask, what kind of life do I want to build now? That question shifts your energy from loss to creation. And that is where true power lives. Remember, every relationship is temporary, every emotion is temporary, every success and every failure is temporary. But the character you build through each experience becomes part of who you are forever. Invest in that character. Protect your peace as if it were your greatest treasure, because it is. Build a life so meaningful that your happiness no longer depends on being chosen by everyone. The right people will not require you to betray yourself to earn their love. They will value your honesty, respect your boundaries, and celebrate your growth instead of fearing it. And if they never arrive, you will still have something infinitely more valuable: yourself. In the end, the greatest relationship you will ever have is the one you build with your own mind. Nurture it with patience, discipline, compassion, and courage. Every day, choose self-respect over desperation, purpose over distraction, and peace over attachment. Because the day you stop chasing is the day you begin attracting what truly belongs in your life. Not through force, but through authenticity. Let your life become proof that inner freedom is stronger than external validation. Walk your path with quiet confidence, knowing that what is meant for you will never require you to abandon yourself to receive it. If today's message resonated with you, carry it into your daily life. Share it with someone who may need it, and continue seeking wisdom that helps you grow into a calmer, stronger, and more compassionate version of yourself. Thank you for being here, and until next time, choose peace, choose growth, and above all, never lose yourself while trying to keep someone else.